Good evening. I thank Ram Madhavji and also respected Gopal Aryaji is with us, Riya Iqbalji and all the dignitaries assembled here. Today, I am really happy to share some of my experiences, my thoughts, especially in such a wonderful topic. What is the role of civil society in coming years in this meta era? As an engineer and also running an organization for 25 years, I really would like really passionate to share some of my experiences and also want to see how the whole society will change or look up to. Especially when it comes to civil society, as we all know, the three important pillars, governance, the business, and the civil society. And for the civil society, it is Sarvajana Hasukino Bhavantu. It's Antyodaya, reaching the unreached, the Antyodaya concept of Deen Dayal Upadhyay ji, the founder of Janasangh. And it is for the people, by the people. That has been the concept. And especially in India, for such a big population, a lot of organizations, lot of religious organizations, non-government organizations are putting their efforts to do their best. And when it comes to what do we see after 25 years, especially for me, we started our organization, Adamya Chetana, 25 years back, exactly in 1997. And mainly our organization is working with school children, especially the government school children, where the free education is given. And when we started our organization, the first thing, especially as an engineer probably, first thing what I did is visited around 100 schools. Our team, those volunteers who really wanted to do something, visited some around 100 schools, saw what is the requirement, what is the problem, what we can, how we can address some of them. And the journey has been, we organized few computer classes for these children. This is way back in 97, and then computers came to there. Now every school has a computer lab. Then we actually, initial days, we were carrying a computer. We converted all their textbook poems into, we gave nice music, converted them into digital form, played them in the classrooms. And it was the whole learning experience. Teacher used to say the poem, to by heart that particular poem, they used to take months together. They could learn in 1 hour. And then later, that is the program, we called it as Ata Patha, play and learn. And then it graduated to Uta, and I'll come back to that thing again. So then we saw in the COVID time, especially when the whole of the country, whole world went for online education, I was really wondering what will happen to these children, where we are working with government school children, what will happen to them? And I was always under the impression that they are going to lag behind because probably all of them have no access to phones, no access to online teaching. But I was so happy to see just 2 days back, the SSLC results in Karnataka came, and this time the result was excellent. And one of the best performers, the best of the best performance, and the ratio increased, and the children from government schools are the toppers, and they have done fantastically well compared to earlier years. It is something phenomenal. And based on that, when I was asked to talk, I just visualized myself, especially after 25 years, how will be our school education. I can just, what I am imagining, I am visualizing is a girl from a village near Kalburgi, or a boy from Mandya, from Bangalore, or maybe Delhi, and no need of this traffic jams, no need of traveling in buses, but still they can, with the meta era, with virtual reality, they can still play together, chat together, make fun and learn. It should be the possibility. No longer those big bags, no traffic jams, no traveling for hours together in buses. At the same time, not just the infrastructure, at the same time, use artificial intelligence, use the various blockchain technology or whatever, and make sure that every child, based on his environment, his parents, and his particular nature, technique, can we able to give him the right education? Can we pinpoint, give a specific education to every child so that he can really flourish instead of teaching the same thing to every child? That should be the vision, and that should be the target of civil society, to visualize the best of and what every human resource we can reach to. And the same way, I am also a trustee of Ananth Kumar Foundation, Ananth Kumar Pratishthan. And recently we organized a program for women Gram Panchayat leaders, women, elected women members of Gram Panchayat. And we did a program for 30 women, and it was a great learning experience, how to enable them to govern better, not just become robots, or not to give the remote to their husbands or men. That was the whole intent. And then I realized there are 50,000 women, elected women members in Karnataka alone. And how do we reach them? I think probably this virtual reality classrooms, and not just the classrooms. I'm not just talking about the physical infrastructure of the classroom, and also can we look at the specific problems of their village, the history of their village, their mentality, their approach, and create projects, train them, enable them. And I'm sure I am really excited that this particular, the technology, the way we are growing, the way especially the Indian government is supporting all these things, really it's going to be wonders. Especially for me, when we took a decision, a bold decision of cooking for thousands of children. My first day of cooking in 2003 was 10,000 children. And from there, the journey started from 10,000 children on day one. End of 4th year, we had 4 kitchens in India. And since last 19 years, every day we cook for 1,70,000 children and reach it out to these schools. A person I also learned cooking after my marriage. My mother-in-law taught me how to cook for some 2-3 people. And how did I jumped into this project is because probably the technology, whatever I learned as a scientist in Aeronautical Development Agency, working with where there is a high requirement, high reliability factor, tracking the defect, closing the defects, all these things came handy to me, and we used all this. So we are able to cook quality food at a lower cost and reach out to children. And it is possible because of the technology, because of the processes. So there is, as a civil society, as an NGO, in fact, way back in 98, we started a portal called raktadan.org, wherein we could connect all the blood donors and the patients, and within a few hours you can reach out to a couple of blood donors. Otherwise, finding for donors was a big task earlier. And now there is no need of those portals because technology is changing. Every blood bank has all those database and portals. Coming to the second point, one is the Sarvajana Hasukino Bhavantu. And second point, what I would like to say is, when the technology comes, we are like Honorable Gopal Aryaji was mentioning, there is a black side of it. The other side is the change in our lifestyle, the pollution, water pollution. In fact, I keep seeing it every place. It's based on a report of IIT Mumbai. Every brand of salt, what we are eating, has microplastic in it. It is the report of IIT Mumbai. What does it mean? Should we just stop talking about it, publicizing about it? Now we should look at the technology as in civil society activism should be. One is, there should be a technology which can clean all the ocean, and also we should look at greener and cleaner technologies. That is going to be the future technology. Unless it is green and clean, let's not call it as a technology. It is not. So that should be the focus. In fact, as an NGO, Adamya Chetana tried looking at not just stop at cooking and sending food to children. Can we use waste as a fuel? Can we use, instead of using fossil fuel for cooking, the entire world is dependent on fossil fuels for cooking. Adame Chetana tried not using fossil fuel, but using waste material as the fuel. Since last 12 years, the entire fuel what we use to cook thousands of children comes from the waste that is generated by the people. We use briquettes, we use biogas. We have 100% stopped the usage of LPG or diesel. In the same way, concept of zero garbage cooking, concept of zero garbage dining, we have a small idea of, we have a huge set of cutleries, around 8,000 sets of cutleries, reusable cutleries, where any organization, any events, any seminar, they can take the cutleries, use it and return it back. Make the dining also a zero garbage experience. And such small projects, including, in fact, the technology and social media helped me in promoting it, is when you open the milk packet in the morning, just small message which I said every day in Bangalore, we open around 50 lakh milk packets per day. Instead of cutting the corner, instead of separating the piece, make sure that you don't separate the piece, so that that 50 lakh small pieces, as we all know, cannot be segregated. As they cannot be segregated, they cannot be recycled. Instead, just change it such that you don't separate the piece. Change the process, change the method. Start thinking about those lives who, because of that small plastic, can affect the birds, affect the ocean. So these are all the ideas, thoughts that make people come closer, think about environment, think about alternate technologies. And that is the second part. I think let's not visualize the technology, or our virtual reality should be, let there not be, I just don't dare to visualize that our children after 20 years, after 10 years, carrying oxygen bottles, elders more than eating food, maybe eating more medicines than the food, and the people of our age sitting helpless. Let's not that be the, as a civil society members, as NGOs, we have to make sure that the onus is on us, the responsibility is on us, that let the technology is not just for the business, let the technology not just for the governance, but let the technology, let the virtual reality is for the betterment of the society. And as a last part, the virtual reality, really in last 20-25 years, what we have seen is not only the people are coming closer, not only the geographical barriers are reducing, now we are trying to understand how the animal life is, how the plant life is. Probably these remote sensors, the hidden cameras in the forest are teaching us many lessons. Our wildlife is teaching us how to live harmoniously is the lesson from all these creatures, ants, bees, the tigers, elephants. Probably now it is the time we look at them, and it is, as human beings, we have to learn how we can live in a harmonious manner. The concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which our ancestors have been talking, I think this is the high time we look at that. In fact, I was asked to talk about what is the role of NGOs in the pervasive governance, when the governance is becoming so and so tight and rigid. It is good, it has to be. But ultimately it has to be less governance, no governance one day. And when we say it is a family, then it is no business as well, no money transaction. Can we ultimately, as a civil society, look at the real meaning of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam and live like a family, make use of metaverse, the virtual reality, as the tool to lead a life of the real human value system. Thank you for the opportunity.